Quality, service, atmosphere. You're next in the chair. Feel at home in the Barbershop. Gbush offers a fresh cut on sports. The Barbershop isn't just grooming for guys. It's culture, it's lifestyle, it's sports. And it's now the Barbershop is giving the sports scene a sheer shave and shine. Join the makeover now. Follow Garrett Bush at Gbush91 on Twitter.
Yo, what's up, man? It's your boy G. Bush. Sunday night football. Cleveland Browns versus the LA Rams. And boy, oh boy, man. You know, I told y'all coming into this game that the Rams was going to be methodical. The Rams was going to check out the preview. If you haven't checked out my preview, it's already linked in the description. Check out that Rams preview. And one of the things that I told you early on when I was breaking down this game was that the Rams were going to run everything identical. The jet sweeps, the double reverses, the zone off that, the screen off that. And you have to look no further. If you saw the games, it said exactly what the Rams did. The Rams came out and they ran exactly what I told you they was going to run. And the Rams did that, and they got enough points to win this game. Overall, I take a look at this game, and there's some good things for the Browns. There's some bad things for the Browns. The good things for the Browns, I thought that the defense in the secondary could have got victimized a lot more. I think that Wilkes had a great game plan coming out with Denzel Ward being out, Greedy Williams being out, Burnett being out, Demarius Randall being out, Christian Kirksey being out. I think he did a great job of scheming up some different things for Jared Goff. He threw a couple of interceptions, looked confused at times. I think he also did a good job of stopping the outside run in Todd Gurley. They had 5-6 defensive linemen up there ready to stop the run. I think Todd Gurley did some great things as far as getting some hits up the middle. He ran the ball more vertical today, not too much of the stretch zone to the outside. And I tell you what, Wilkes came in and had a nice game plan for exactly how to stop the Rams, and he took that just from the Super Bowl. Patriots did some of those same things and really stopped the Rams. However, today, the difference between that game and this game is the Patriots way more disciplined than the Cleveland Browns. They're not going to hurt themselves with penalties. They're not going to be jumping off sides. They're not going to be doing some of those things. And also in that game in the Super Bowl, Cooper Kupp was out of the game due to a torn ACL. He was a guy that was whooping all day and twice on Sunday today. Go back and check that preview. He's running the middle routes. He's open over the middle. He seemed to be a guy that they held everybody decently in check. Cooper Kupp, I think, was the difference in the playmaker for the Rams, and he was wide open all the time. I think Jared Goff had a pretty decent game. He did throw a couple interceptions. And Todd Gurley made a couple of runs when he needed to. I think that as far as Todd Gurley is concerned, I really am concerned about him moving forward. He doesn't seem to have that level of explosiveness that he had before. Doesn't seem to have that level of explosiveness. They aren't throwing the ball to him as much as out of the backfield. He has that degenerative knee. He tore his ACL, that crazy injury that he had at the University of Georgia. But you look at Todd Gurley, and I think it's a shame that he's been slowed down so much because of that injury. And to be honest, I've had 2 ACL injuries. My left knee is awesome. My right knee gives me problems all the time. Back in when I was playing, I used to have to get the thing drained all the time. It's not so much the fact that it's killing me or I can't do what I need to do. It's just the time period that it takes me to recover, that I need to ice and get everything together in the rehab time in between games. You just don't recover the same way you did. And so I think that's really affecting Todd Gurley. In general, the Rams came out and found a way to win on the world. They made just enough plays. I thought Aaron Donald had a great game. As usual, I thought Clay Matthews played a really good game. But it wasn't the Rams' best game, but they came out and did what they needed to do. On the other side of the football, for the Cleveland Browns, I think a couple things that were very evident. One thing is that the defensive line for the Cleveland Browns needed to show up. They needed to show up and actually have a pronounced advantage on the LA Rams. The Rams offensive line had been maligned. Rams offensive line was the worst offensive line on Pro Football Focus as far as out of the 32 teams. The Rams had the line that was struggling the most. But I thought coming into this game that was going to be an area that the Cleveland Browns, Olivier Vernon, Ogunjobi, Sheldon Richardson, Myles Garrett, they had to play like game busters. They had to be after the quarterback getting pressure with 4. I don't think they did that today. I think the Rams did a nice job of neutralizing the Cleveland Browns up front. I think that I'm waiting on Olivier Vernon to show up. I'm waiting for you. You in a milk box right now, dog. Like, you in a milk box. You welcome to join the club anytime now. You look like an Under Armour model, bro. Like, right now, there's no production out of you. Larry Ogunjobi had a sack today. I saw him running down a couple plays from the backside. But you and Sheldon Richardson have not been giving me anything these first 3 games. As far as the production we heard about you guys in training camp, wreaking havoc on the Browns offensive line, we have not seen the level of production that we need to see out of Sheldon Richardson and out of Vernon. Being in your gap is not just good enough. Those are 2 guys that needed to step up today, especially when you got your whole starting secondary out. And I think the secondary, T.J. Carey, Terrence Mitchell, Whitehead, these guys, Murray, Burris, those guys for a short week of practice coming in against Cooper Kupp, Brandon Cooks, against guys like that, Robert Woods, I think they really showed me something that, the Browns have some pieces with depth is concerned. And I think they really showed up and had a pretty good game. I thought Mack Wilson had a pretty good game. I told you before, return to the Mack. Christian Kirksey is a guy that I think on this Browns team is not going to be a part of this team. I told you that in preseason. If you listen to my show, The Barbershop, you can check that out. Barbershop 8 to 12 every Saturday. Browns pregame show. You can check that out. Every Browns pregame show. You can check me out on the radio homes of the Browns, 92 through the Fan. I told you, Christian Kirksey will not be a part of this team moving forward. He's always injured. And I think Matt Wilson showed that this is going to be his position moving forward. I like him in pass coverage, got his hands on some balls earlier, got his hands on a couple tip passes. I think he did his thing in open field. Not too many missed tackles. Definitely like what he was bringing to the table. When it comes to the game plan, I think it was hit or miss. I think Freddie Kitchens and I think Collins did a great job of the announcers telling exactly the tale of 2 tapes. When Baker Mayfield gets the ball out of his hands and they're doing quick step, 3-step, they was using the read option, throwing right behind guys, guess what? The Browns are a really good offense. When they're working off the play action, working off Chubb, getting him involved, and throwing quick, Browns are a good team. The Browns have a good offense. But anything else with this 5-step, 7-step drop when Baker Mayfield is bouncing back in the pocket and dropping back, that's not what we're looking for. Those are when you're doing that type of activity, when you're running the plays like that, you got guys running right into sacks. You can't run that type of offense when you got linemen out. Hubbard was out. You got tackles like Greg Robinson. You can't run that playbook. You got to stay consistent. And that's the thing about Freddie. You have to have a pinpoint mindset. And I think that was the difference between Sean McVay and Freddie Kitchens. There was never a time that Sean McVay, when they were running the offensive plays, did you see him deviate from what they wanted to do. The plays all looked the same. Whether or not the plays was successful, they still had a game plan of what they wanted to do. The Browns were taking away the outside rush. Let's run up the middle. We're running the inside zone. We're going to still work our quick stuff. They never got outside and deviated from what the game plan was. Freddie Kitchens, on the other hand, you're moving the ball well, throwing the quick passes, getting the ball to Chubb, and then all of a sudden we will be moving and it's let's do 5-step, let's do 7-step, let's do this. Those are things that you got to be mentally strong enough to say, okay, I got to be, as a play caller, I got to still always stick to what my team is doing. Always stick to what the identity of my team is. And I think one of the problems that the Browns have is they don't quite know what their identity of their team is yet. I also have a very big problem with two more things. The first thing, Baker Mayfield. My brother just texted me before I did the video. He said, yo, Baker Mayfield out here holding the ball more than Kyrie Irving. He dribbling the ball, Uncle Drew, crossover. Oh, hot sizzle, hot sizzle. You look like Kyrie Irving in a football jersey right now, man. Baker Mayfield needs to go to a quarterback camp. He needs to go to a camp. Because right now, there's a couple of things that is very evident. Sometimes Baker Mayfield is getting the snap. There is no pressure, and he's rolling to his right. Why are you rolling? Standing in the pocket, get your shoulders up, and deliver a ball. Step up in the pocket. You don't need to be rolling out. That's fake pressure. That's phantom pressure. You see, that's the Johnny Manziel playbook. That's the Cam Newton playbook. You see running quarterbacks that do that all the time. They run right into pressure. You're rolling out and your tackles is like, I'm funneling them to the outside. Step up in the pocket and deliver a pass. The reason people do that and quarterbacks do that is because they're confused in the coverage. They don't know whether it's zone or man, and they get jittery feet and their eyes aren't disciplined. So you got to be able to step up with trash in front of you, back up with trash, sidestep, move around, but your eyes always stay downfield. That has to be something that that's something that he did last year, but I don't know if it was Zampese doing that to him. I don't know if what was going on, but right now, he's not having the same pocket presence as he did last year, and that's a part of having tape on somebody. When somebody develop tape on you, and they get that level of tape, they're going to make it difficult for you to do things that you don't. They're going to take away your good stuff. They're going to make you do things you're not comfortable with. That is a huge thing. The rollout to the right, the second you roll out as a quarterback, you only have a very small area of real estate to deal with. You don't even have your receivers who have an opportunity to make a play for you because you eliminate the whole left side of the field because you can't roll right and throw across your body across the field. So therefore, anything on the sidelines is only sideline routes. And when you got that much congestion, and if you have any 2 receivers or 3 receivers or trips or a tight end and 2 receivers to that side of the field, that means there's 2 or 3 defenders over there already and the safety. So the chances of you completing that pass while you're rolling out and a lineman like Clay Matthews or Aaron Donald is trying to tackle you, not happening. That happened way too much in this game, and you saw with his numbers, his passing accuracy, his QBR rating, and what his completion percentage is when he's rolling to the right. It's just way too much. If they want to get him out of the pocket, you play action and roll out of the pocket. You got a game plan rolls out of the pocket. This freelance stuff with this offensive line moving, that's not what you can do. That's the first alarming thing. The second alarming thing is on the goal line, you just got an interception. Clock management was fine to me. You don't want to get the ball back to Rams. I'm okay with that. The one thing that I'm seeing, though, is when you get down there, I like Aqib Talib, but I like Odell Beckham too. I at least gotta have a 1 or 2 plays where we got him and we putting 3 receivers on the other side and we gonna isolate Odell and we gonna at least get him 2 opportunities to get us a touchdown. Put your best player on the field. Aqib Talib, I salute you. You played a great game, but listen, you gotta give OBJ a chance to make a play out there. Listen, Demetrius Harris and some of these other plays, you threw a play to Ratley as you was rolling out that got intercepted the last play. You got Demetrius Harris double cover over the end zone. Like, I don't like that play. Listen, go to Odell Beckham and give him an opportunity to make a play. You got to do that. And at the end of the day, if I say I'm going to go to him twice, chances are he can make a catch in the end zone, or he can get a pass interference call, or he can get a legal contact holding, something. There's a lot of different things that can happen down there. It's not very many things that Aqib Talib can do. I mean, the chances of him picking a pass off on a fade in the corner is slim to none. You work on dropping the ball in the bucket. You work on all those throws and getting him open on the backside. Why are you not giving that guy an opportunity to make a play on the ball and it's down on the goal line? That's egregious to say that, to put it blankly. It's egregious. Odell has to have an opportunity. 2 of them downs. It's a 4-down territory. You got to get him the ball. You have to. I didn't like the play calling down there, and I just didn't think that it's the same way. You saw it on 1 3rd down in the 3rd quarter. You had Cooper Kupp, and what happened? Sean McVay schemed up something. He gives Whitehead a move. He's wide open. Walks in for a touchdown. I need to see better scheming. I need to see better scheming to get your guys open. I need to see something better as far as the route combinations to be getting Jarvis open or to get Odell open. I'm not seeing it. I need to see something better from you. Is return to that. Because here's my thing. I watch the NFL all the time, and I'm watching games around the league. And they're running simple outs. Dude's wide open. Running simple stuff, wide open. I don't see those same route combinations for the Browns. I just don't see them. It's a lot of running straight. Just run straight. I think you got to be more creative than that. Overall, I don't think the Browns played bad. I'll give you that. I told you, I was on record saying that the Rams was going to win this game. Overall, I don't think that the Browns played bad in this game. However, you see the margin of error when you're playing the great elite teams. The margin of error is about this small. You got your whole secondary out. You can't afford to do certain things like that. You can't afford to have the play calling be off. You can't afford to have, your defensive line not get pressure like you wanted to. You can't have some of these certain things to be able to beat good teams like that. In general, I am encouraged because now the Browns can go back and coach certain things and say, look, hey, Baker, we got to get the ball out of your hands quicker. And we're going to have to, in our game plan moving forward, and if you watch any of my videos, the identity of the Cleveland Browns should be Chubb off bat. That's what it's supposed to be. Giving the ball to Nick Chubb and working everything else off that. Everything else can come off that. But here's the part of the game plan that they have to get better at. They have to be able to, A, get guys open and game plan certain guys to get touches, and they have to be better at play calling in certain situations. Some of the rollouts and throwaways on 3rd and 15s and not giving guys an opportunity or chances to make plays on those certain play calls, I'm not understanding it. And another thing is, stop the empty stuff. If you're not going to throw quick on empty, that's called a sack. You don't have the offensive line to be going empty backfield, no protection, no tight end, no running back to chip anybody, and you got Baker holding the ball for 3 or 4 seconds. That ball has to come out quick. So if you're not going to do that, you got to be able to be smart enough to understand we might not be able to keep that in the playbook. In general, I think it was a decent game for the Browns. I think it's something they can build on. They didn't embarrass themselves on a Sunday Night Football. I think they showed up. The defense played pretty good, but there's a couple people that I thought Jarvis Landry played well, and I called him out in the pregame. I think he had a better game. I think Chubb had a pretty good game. Baker, once again, up and down, up and down. And we see at the end of the day, it goes. The defense, offense, teams go as your quarterback's going to go. That's it. As your quarterback go, you go. You got to hit every throw, and you got to go score for score with these teams. It ain't going to get no better next week. You got a team in Baltimore coming in. You're going to play at Baltimore. And when you play at Baltimore, Lamar Jackson, it looked good, really good in the second half against the Kansas City Chiefs. That game, they made that game a little tougher than what the score was in the first half. But I told you, all year, I picked Baltimore. That's going to be the number one team as far as giving the Cleveland Browns a really run for their money. They'll give them the most run for their money when you look at it, and that's what's going to happen. Baltimore got 96 tight ends. They're going to be able to run that read option. They're going to have a strong run game, and it doesn't get any easier. The San Francisco 49ers are 3-0. You got the Ravens coming up. You got all these other teams that are going to be great teams, great challenges. So you got to flip this and move forward and continue to build and hopefully your offensive camaraderie and continuity can click and you find your identity. You want to be hitting on all cylinders later in the season rather than early. But you got to still win while you find your identity. As always, man, stop playing what you do, man. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Anybody coming? Like I told you, I got you right after the game. The Barbershop is here, baby. And check this show out. 8 to 12, 92.3 The Fan. Download the radio.com app. You can hear me anywhere you want to hear me, man. I'm out here. Subscribe to the channel. And as always, listen for the Clippers. You know what it is. Peace. You've been locked in with Gbush in the Barbershop. Feel free to take a look at some of our other videos linked here, and also subscribe to our channel so you never miss any of our updated content coming out regularly. Thanks again for listening.